Okay, so let's dive in. Today, we are going deep on how to gain influence, really build a successful venture in today's world.
It's changing fast.
It's a whole new ball game out there.
It really is. And we've got a lot to unpack. We're pulling from like this really interesting podcast we found.
Yeah, all about becoming like a key person of influence.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we've both been looking at uh, entrepreneurship and all the crazy tech stuff that's like changing everything.
It is wild out there.
It is. So for everyone listening, our goal is to like really boil all of this down, give you the stuff that actually matters.
The need to know, right, without totally frying your brain with too much info.
Totally. So when you look at everything we've been going through, it's clear, like the whole power structure is shifting.
Yeah, it's like almost like I don't know, like back in the Industrial Revolution. Think about it.
Oh, totally. You had wealth tied to land, and then boom, it was all about who had the capital and the machines.
Right. And now, like, think about it. It's not factories this time. It's your phone.
Right there in your pocket.
It's kind of crazy when you really think about it, right?
Totally.
You can literally, like, reach a global audience from your phone. Put out a video, write something, build a whole community.
And all that stuff that used to be for, like, huge companies.
And the thing is, you can do it so fast. It's like boom, boom, boom. No more waiting around for the big guys to, like, approve everything.
Right, you can just move.
You're nimble.
You're in control. And this all ties into something we're seeing everywhere. This huge demand for content that's, like, long, real, and raw.
Like, people are over the fake polished stuff.
Yeah, the 5-second sound bites, done.
They want the real deal, the full story.
They want to form their own opinions.
And that changes everything, right? From marketing to media, even politics. Think about it.
Oh, yeah. Our research showed, like, this one politician, their long, totally unscripted podcast, way more engagement than, like, a polished TV spot.
People want real.
They do.
Yeah.
And that brings us to, like, the core of influence. Personal branding. Especially for CEOs, entrepreneurs.
Okay, so personal branding, what does that even mean in this new world?
It means, like, the old way of just doing corporate stuff, that's over.
Like the stuffy CEO image, gone.
Gone. Now you got to connect, be human.
Otherwise, you won't get the best people, keep customers or investors.
Right. Authenticity, that's the key. And one way to build that is through longer content, like podcasts.
Being a guest, just sharing your story.
Yeah. And for entrepreneurs specifically, our source had this great idea of the podcast pyramid.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
So you start with, like, smaller podcasts, right? Niche down to your area.
Okay, so you get good at your message.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Build credibility. Then, those bigger shows start inviting you.
Your reach expands.
Exactly. But it all comes back to, like, your story, your mission, the people you work with, the problems you solve.
A value.
The value. You got to share that. And you got to share it in a way that, like, actually makes an impact.
Which means you got to be good at communicating.
Right. Our source really emphasized this name, same, fame, aim, game framework for intros.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. So, like, name is just like who you are, what you do.
Symbol.
Yeah.
Same is, like, what's your business similar to? People get it right away.
Like relating it to something familiar.
Exactly. Then fame is your, like, bragging rights.
Awards, big clients, whatever makes you stand out.
Yeah. And aim. That's your short-term goals. Shows you're on top of things.
Then game, long-term vision.
Exactly. Where are you going? It's a powerful framework, even in, like, just a quick meeting.
Makes you memorable.
It does. But branding is more than just a good intro.
Right. It's about recognition.
Yeah.
And real connection.
Yes. Our source had this rule of 7-11-4.
Oh, yeah. What was that all about?
Basically, for people to remember you, it takes time. Like 7 hours of engagement with your stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And around 11 different interactions on at least 4 platforms.
So it's about showing up consistently in different ways.
Exactly. Podcasts, videos, social media, even live events.
You become familiar.
You do. And that's how you build what they call parasocial relationships.
Which is like that feeling you get when you like really watch a YouTuber and you feel like you know them.
Exactly. And as a creator, you can use that. You show up consistently, provide value, they feel connected.
So, okay, we know we need to be consistent, multi-platform, all that, but what actually works? Like which platforms, what content?
Well, podcasts are crucial for building that, like, authentic, longer form presence.
So not just like quick sound bites.
Nope. Real conversations.
So starting out, it's smart to be a guest on smaller shows, right?
Absolutely. Niche down, get your message clear, build that trust.
Okay. And then Video feels unavoidable, right?
It is. People want to see you. Connect
Mhm.
on that level. YouTube, LinkedIn, even TikTok.
Even TikTok.
Yeah. And again, don't be afraid to go long. Unscripted.
That's where the realness comes in.
Exactly. Now, social media, that can feel tricky.
It can be so noisy.
It is. But platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, they're great for those quick hits.
Like little teasers.
Yeah. Keep people engaged, direct them to your longer stuff.
So it's all connected.
It is.
Yeah.
And building a brand, it's not like flipping a switch.
It's a marathon.
It is. It takes consistency, a growth mindset,
And a lot of work.
a lot of work, but it's worth it.
So you build the brand, and then it's all about scaling those parasocial relationships. How do you do that?
Well, you had enough content, right?
Yeah.
Enough to meet that 7-Eleven 4 we talked
Yeah.
about across different platforms.
So people can, like, really binge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want them to easily go from your podcast to your YouTube to your LinkedIn, everything.
It's like an ecosystem.
Yeah, a scalable content ecosystem.
Okay, I like that. But there's so much content out there already. How do you stand out? How do you make something people actually want to watch, listen to?
You got to make it memorable. Our source talked about making your content scary.
Scary.
Yeah, like evoke strong emotions. But that's got to be done really carefully.
Right, you don't want to scare people off.
Exactly. Another way is to be strange. Just be different.
Like, have your own unique voice.
Yeah, your own personality. Stand out. Then there's sexy.
Okay, making it super attractive,
Right. But that obviously depends on what you're doing.
what you're selling.
Exactly. Then there's the more like universal strategy. Free value. Give people something so good they'd normally pay for it.
Show your expertise.
Exactly. But it's got to be high quality, presented well. And then, of course, there's familiar.
Just being there consistently.
Exactly. The more people see you, the more they trust you.
So free, high-quality content delivered consistently, that builds loyalty.
It does. Because you're solving problems, helping people.
Right, so we need examples. Like, what does this look like on podcasts, videos, social media?
Okay, so for podcasts, think in-depth interviews, right? Sharing your expertise, telling stories.
Okay, and video.
Video, you could give behind-the-scenes looks at your business. Maybe you visually explain a complex concept, or you share personal reflections.
And social media is, like, the teaser for all of that.
Exactly. Short snippets, get people talking.
Okay, but you have all these ideas, right? How do you know they'll actually work? You don't want to waste time on something no one wants.
You got to test, validate demand before you go all in on a product or service.
So what's a good way to do that?
Our source called it productizing your demo and customer needs analysis.
Okay, break that down for me.
So, like, make your demo a real event. Give it a name, make it easy to sign up.
Okay.
And at the same time, you have a really solid way to get information from customers. What do they want? What are their problems?
So you're getting real data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could even, like, partner with stores for a coming soon campaign.
Oh, clever.
Wow.
Or offer samples.
Right. Get feedback early.
Yeah, so it's like, get the information before you even fully build the thing.
Exactly. And another thing you can do is, like, run those cheap ads on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, for like different book titles or product ideas.
Right, but don't send them straight to a sales page. Get them on a waiting list.
See what generates buzz.
Yeah. Data is king. Fail fast. Test. Iterate.
Okay, so let's say you have some interested customers. How do you figure out exactly what they need, what their problems are?
There's this framework. It's called the 4 key questions, or the situational model.
Lay it on me.
First question, where are you today? You're figuring out their situation, their challenges.
Okay.
Then you ask, where do you want to be? What are their goals, their ideal outcome?
You got to know their aspirations.
Exactly. Then it's what's in the way, what's stopping them from getting there.
Or like, is it time, money, knowledge?
Yeah, all of that. And finally, what are you considering as a way forward?
So you see what solutions they're already thinking about.
And you see your competition.
Makes sense. And once you know their needs, then there's the whole pricing thing. How do you know what to charge?
Talk to your customers. Ask them straight up, what's a fair price for this?
Bold. I like it.
Then you ask what price would be so low you'd think it was, like junk.
So you find the bottom.
Exactly. And then you ask what price would be so high you wouldn't even consider it.
You find the ceiling. Brilliant.
Right. No more wasted marketing on people who won't buy.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you actually get this feedback?
You could do like introductory events.
Yeah.
Virtual ones are easy, Zoom and all that.
Yeah, that's low barrier to entry.
Exactly. Introduce your product. Ask questions.
Get that immediate feedback.
Yeah. And for ongoing feedback, make those little discussion groups.
Like on WhatsApp or Facebook?
Yeah. Keep it casual, get real insights.
Low cost, high reward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our source talked about this WhatsApp group for like high-end investors. Tiny group, tons of value.
That's smart. Are there any other, like, tools you can use?
Assessments and quizzes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like help people figure out what they need, guide them to the right solution.
It's helpful for them. And you get data.
Exactly. You learn about their struggles. You can use that to improve.
Smart.
And sometimes a little bit of friction can actually be good.
Wait, friction, like making things harder?
Think about it. When you have to, like, answer some questions or take a survey before getting something valuable.
It feels more personalized.
Yeah, it feels worth it.
Okay, so how does all this apply to, like, actually making money? Especially online.
Well, a lot of online businesses, they focus on manufacturing demand, creating a need that maybe wasn't there before.
Okay.
And then they create choke points, places where that demand meets their product. That's where they monetize.
Makes sense. Create the desire, then offer the solution. Now, our source also talked about, like, focusing on the top 10% of spenders.
Yeah, because research shows that, like, the top 1% control a ton of the spending.
Really?
Yeah, and the next 9% control even more. So the bottom 90%, there are a lot of people, but they don't spend as much.
So you give the 90% free stuff, build awareness.
Exactly. Amplify your message.
But your high-end stuff, that's for the 10%.
The ones with the money.
Smart. So how do you find your place in all of this as an entrepreneur?
You got to find your sweet spot,
Yeah.
where your passion meets a real problem that people will pay to solve.
So, like, if you love something, but no one will pay for it?
It's a hobby, not a business.
Right. And if you're solving a problem you don't care about.
You burn out.
So, passion, problem, payment.
Exactly. Like the yoga instructor example.
Passion for yoga solves the problem of stress, gets paid well for classes.
Nailed it. And the cool thing is, with the internet, location doesn't matter as much anymore.
Right. You can be anywhere.
You can build these, like, lifestyle boutique businesses.
Small teams, good revenue, and, like, freedom.
Exactly. It's not all about, like, that crazy VC-backed growth.
Which brings us to, like, the whole work-life balance thing.
Yeah.
How do you balance ambition and not burning out, especially when you're young and you feel like you got to hustle all the time?
It's tough. But a lot of successful people, they work in sprints.
Like intense periods of work, then they rest.
Exactly. Recharge.
Sustainability.
Yes. And, you know, when you build a brand, sometimes opportunities pop up you weren't expecting.
So you got to be flexible.
You do. And sometimes the best thing you could do is slow down.
Wait, slow down.
Yeah. Because when you're always going, you miss things.
You miss opportunities.
Exactly. Create some space in your schedule.
To think, to notice things.
Exactly. It's strategic.
So when these opportunities do come up, are there different types we should be aware of?
Yeah. There are, like, bell curve opportunities. They're predictable, normal returns.
Like a regular job.
Exactly. And then there are power law opportunities.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah, rare but huge potential, like building a massive online audience.
So you want to look for opportunities with leverage.
Yes. Like partnering with someone influential, getting access to a big network, or using cutting-edge tech.
Like that doctor who became a huge YouTube star.
Exactly. And leverage, it's like a multiplier.
It makes everything bigger.
It does. And the internet, that just amplifies it.
So it's not about seeing everyone as competition.
No, it's about seeing the world as your potential customer.
Finding your niche.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to stay focused, you got to know your own definition of success.
Like how many clients you want or how much you want to make.
Yeah, your official capacity.
Yeah.
It helps you say no to the distractions.
Okay, so zooming out a bit, our source talked about this silver tsunami. What's that all about?
Baby boomers. They're retiring, selling businesses, changing priorities.
So there's a whole new market opening up.
Exactly. You could buy a business, disrupt an industry, or create something totally new for this generation.
Tons of opportunities. And speaking of massive changes, we can't ignore AI.
Oh, AI is the next big thing, like dot-com boom or smartphones big.
It's changing everything.
It is. And if you don't get on board, you'll be left behind.
So what can people do? Like practically?
Well, think of it like the early days of the internet, right? Huge potential, but we were all still figuring it out.
We're there with AI.
Exactly.
Mm.
The technology is here, but the applications, the real uses, they're still developing.
It's a gold rush.
It is. You got to figure out how to use AI to build the toasters.
Yeah. Like the practical everyday uses for this powerful technology.
Right. Like how can AI change healthcare or education? The possibilities are endless.
It's mind-blowing.
It is. And it ties into how we think about work and making money.
Yeah, it's not just about trading time for money anymore.
Right. Our source talks of this progression. It starts with skilled labor.
The old 9 to 5.
Exactly. Then you have intellectual property, like documenting your knowledge, creating something unique.
Okay.
Then there's media. You share your stuff, reach a wider audience.
Videos, podcasts, all that.
Yeah. Then there's data. You collect valuable information.
And then software, where you actually build something that like automates stuff.
Yes. And data plus software. That's where the magic happens,
Mm-hmm.
especially with AI.
So how does someone even get started with all of this?
Start by writing down what you know, your experiences, your insights. Build a brand around your expertise,
Even if you feel like you're just starting out.
especially then.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be afraid to invest in yourself, your skills, your network.
And like maybe even investing in some promising startups.
Especially the ones using AI in cool ways.
Okay, so for someone completely new to AI, where do they even begin?
Just start learning the basics. See how it's being used in your field.
Okay.
And then think about what you know. Can you create something new with AI? What kind of data can you collect?
And just start playing with the AI tools that are out there.
Exactly. There's so many.
It all comes back to like the idea that wealth isn't just about saving money. It's about creating something new.
Exactly. It's about innovation.
A new business, a new product, a new idea.
It's about adding value to the world.
But being an entrepreneur isn't always easy. There are challenges.
There are. And one of the biggest ones is like mental. You got to shift your thinking away from the old ways.
The 9 to 5 job security
Right.
mindset.
Exactly. The system doesn't always support entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And then, the whole world has changed, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah, everything's remote now.
And AI is changing everything even faster. It's a global game now.
Which is exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
But it also creates challenges. Like governments are still stuck in the old ways.
They haven't caught up.
Nope. And we're seeing like wealthy people moving around looking for better places to do business.
Which brings up the whole question of like, what does it mean to be wealthy?
Right. Like, are you wealthy because you created something valuable or just because you hold on to assets?
There's a difference.
A big one. We need to reward the creators, the people who actually add value,
I agree. And then there's the whole issue of wealth inequality.
which is like directly tied to technology.
The people who are using technology to build and scale.
They're pulling ahead, like what happened in the Industrial Revolution.
So innovation is key. Those who don't adapt.
They get left behind. We need to be smarter about how we think about wealth.
Like our source gave that example of, a nurse versus a drug dealer.
Yeah, income alone doesn't tell the whole story.
Hmm.
We need to reward people who actually make the world better.
Create jobs, solve problems. And it feels like some of our systems are actually holding us back.
They are. Like when governments tax local hiring so much
Yeah.
that companies move jobs overseas.
It's counterproductive.
Totally.
Yeah.
They need to catch up to the digital world.
But our source did say that the U.S. is actually in a good position.
We are. We have energy, great universities, a diverse economy, and it's relatively easy to do business here.
So there's a lot of opportunity.
A lot, but you got to think globally. Build your online presence.
Don't be limited by location.
Exactly. Focus on creating value, not just hoarding wealth.
Right, because in the end, that's what matters.
It is. And even marketing has changed.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
All those old tactics like creating scarcity and fear, that doesn't work anymore.
People are smarter than that.
They are.
Yeah.
You got to be authentic, real.
Build trust.
Exactly.
So for someone just starting out, no big brand, no huge following, what should they do?
Our source had these 5 Ps to influence.
Okay, let's hear them.
Pitching, like selling your ideas with passion.
Okay.
Publishing, getting your content out there.
Across all those platforms.
Yeah, productization, turning your knowledge into something you can sell.
Like courses or whatever.
Exactly. Profile, getting yourself out there. Media, awards,
Being seen.
and partnerships. Team up with people.
It's about promoting your ideas, not just promoting yourself.
Exactly. Be the expert, not the ego.
And the cool thing is, like, Almost anyone can become influential now.
Right. With the internet
Yeah.
and niche markets, it's possible,
No matter your background.
no matter what. But your environment matters.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
Like where you are, who you're around, it affects everything.
Your motivation, your thinking.
Yeah. Surround yourself with people who are ahead of you. Go to inspiring places.
Push yourself.
Exactly. And find your tribe online.
People who get you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Huge support.
okay.
And of course, don't forget about your health.
Oh, that's so important.
It's the foundation. You can't do anything if you're not healthy.
Totally agree. So to sum it all up, becoming influential is about sharing value, building your profile, having the right environment, and focusing on those 5 Ps.
That's it. And I know we talked about books, how they're important for building authority.
Yeah, but you said it's not really about the sales.
It's not. It's about the connection you build with readers.
That deep personal connection.
Exactly. It takes your ideas global.
So powerful. And we should all be documenting our journey, even if we don't feel successful yet.
Absolutely.
Uh,
You never know it's valuable.
Right, like that restaurant owner who built a consulting business just from writing down his systems.
Or the coach who made a fortune by sharing her client stories.
It's about capturing your knowledge.
It is. And when you're selling something, think about productizing your whole sales process.
So like make your demos and customer analysis super valuable.
Yeah, like they're products in themselves.
Make them stand out. And speaking of sales, we talked about how the old marketing funnel is like dead.
It is. Google's research shows that it's all about the messy middle now.
People jump around, they don't follow a straight line.
Nope. So instead of a funnel, you got to create a playground.
Give them different ways to engage.
Videos, podcasts, assessments, discussions, free trials. Let them explore.
No pressure.
Exactly.
So today we've covered a lot. Technological shifts, building a personal brand, communication strategies, scaling your influence, testing your ideas, understanding the economy, and like really focusing on creating value and connecting with people.
It's a lot. But we wanted to give you, like, the shortcut.
The need to know.
Exactly. So you can be informed, take action, and not get overwhelmed.
And as we wrap up, think about this. AI is like the new electricity.
Powerful.
What are the appliances you can build with it? How can you use it to change the world?
Think beyond just working for money. Create something new, something valuable. That's the future.
That's the deep dive.